Welcome back to Ferocious Education. This is Ed. Today we're going to be talking about CTXR, going with the name Citius Pharma. Now, this is the first video I'm making about the series, and in this video we're going to go through due diligence, technical analysis, news, what I think about this one, and as well analysts' recommendation about this one. So without further ado, let's jump right into this one. So Citius Pharma, they have different technologies. The first one is Mino-Lok. Mino-Lok is a product, or the product itself is an antibiotic lock solution used to treat patients with catheter-related bloodstream infections, known also as CRBSIs, and they're very serious, especially in cancer patients. Receiving therapy through central venous catheters and in hemodialysis patients where venous access presents a challenge. So some of the program highlights, and I'm going to give you an update relating to this one in a minute. Partnership with leading cancer center and support from the medical thought leaders. In a phase 2b trial, the Mino-Lok product demonstrated 100% efficacy rate in salvaging colonized CVCs. The Mino-Lok product had no significant adverse effect compared to an 18% serious adverse events when infected where the CVCs were removed and replaced. FDA fast track with QIDP designation and patient protection until June 2024, formulation patent protection until November 2036, my bad. Currently in a phase 3 pivotal superiority trial. And for this, we do actually have recent news onto this one. I'm going to start reading it now. Citius Pharmaceuticals Incorporation announces positive recommendation by Independent Data Monitoring Committee to continue the Mino-Lok Phase 3 trial as planned. So the DMC interim safety and efficacy review of Mino-Lok Phase 3 trial concluded with favorable recommendation to continue the trial as planned, with the protocol-defined sample size and power to achieve the primary endpoint. Citius to proceed in conducting the largest controlled clinical trial to salvage infected catheters with no modification requests by the DMC and no safety concerns identified. So here they go talk about CTRX, which is a biopharmaceutical company dedicated to the development and commercialization of the first-in-class critical care products with a focus on anti-infective products in adjacent cancer care, unique prescription products, and stem cell therapy. Today announced that the following of an unblinded data review of safety and efficacy, the Independent Data Monitoring Committee for the Mino-Lok Phase 3 pivotal superiority trial has recommended proceeding with the trial as planned. The DMC did not identify any safety concerns and no modifications were recommended to the protocol-defined sample size or power to achieve the primary endpoint. We greatly appreciate the thoughtful analysis and guidance provided by the Data Monitoring Committee following their review of the interim trial data. Consistent with our expectation, we are pleased with the DMC's recommendation to continue the trial without modification. This marks the third recommendation by DMC supporting the continuation of Mino-Lok trial, with each DMC review the hurdles to meet our protocol-defined criteria for safety and superior efficacy increases. Consequently, this favorable outcome indicates that based on our predefined parameters, it would be possible or impossible to achieve our primary endpoint by continuing the trial as planned, and is an encouraging signal when combined with the results of our prior studies, stated Myron Holoback, the president and the CEO of Citius. Patients suffering from catheter-related infections are at the forefront of our efforts to advance Mino-Lok. We believe we are conducting the largest controlled trial to salvage catheters, and this trial will provide important information about the future role of the antibiotic locks in treating patients with catheter-related infections. Our primary aim is to provide critically ill patients and their caregivers with a safe and effective treatment options that addresses the complications, discomfort, and high cost of removing and replacing infected catheters. With COVID-19 restrictions easing, we believe we are now in a better position to accelerate our efforts to complete the trial. To that end, we will continue to engage with the US FDA and look forward to their guidance as we advance in the program. So as defined in DMC, the primary role of the independent DMC is to safeguard the interest of the study participants, assess the safety of the treatment, and monitor the overall conduct of the study. Now, everything going on, after reading it, I can go ahead, but you can just pause the screen and take a quick read, because the PR itself is a little bit lengthy in that sense. So a lot of people read this and found that Mino-Lok itself did not really show as much of positive results as anticipated. And so the stock price started to plummet based on that. Others were more of the buy rumor and sell the news part, and there's a third party who thought this was actually positive, promising news. So it really is depending on how you read it and what your opinion is and what your expectations was in general. But here, the primary endpoint of this study is the time to a catheter failure between randomization in TOC week 6 to intent to treat ITT population. And in that general sense, I would say it does show some results that could be very much positive, depending on how the further on trials would go on. Now, the next thing here is Halo-Lido-lidocaine formulation. And this one here, the company itself is developing a proprietary topical formulation of halobetasol and lidocaine using 505(b)(2) to provide anti-inflammatory anesthetic relief to persons suffering from hemorrhoids. And summary of opportunity here is that there are no FDA-approved prescriptions products on the market for hemorrhoids. Citius halobetasol and lidocaine formulation could become the first FDA-approved product to treat hemorrhoids in the United States, and according to the IMS, over 25 million units of topical combination prescription products for hemorrhoids were sold in the US during the 12 months in period ending June 2012, comprising an estimated of $80 million in the annual market. Now, the Mino-Wrap CTI-101 is a malleable bioabsorbable film impregnated with microcline or minocycline and rifampin. It is designated to reduce the infections associated with the use of breast tissue expansions used in breast reconstruction surgeries following mastectomies. And for this one here, partnerships with the leading cancer center and support from medical thought leaders. Currently in preclinical development, and Mino-Wrap is designed to allow temporary tissue expanders to be inflated without any restrictions and to aid in the prevention of infections and biofilm formation on the implant over longer duration than the current practice. Current standard of care, COC, can be improved upon and infection rates reduced. Now, there's other news, etc. A lot of them are really relating towards interviews rather than news. But let's move on quickly towards the presentation to see if there's anything here that we can really grasp on to get a better idea of the company itself. So first off, the company overview: 4 active programs, with late-stage leads assets, large market needs, and expert teams to execute. Now, the 4 ones here, that's the lead Mino-Lok in late phase 3, favorable review received, blah, 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 but we also gave the updates. And then you have, basically, it is Mino-Lok, Halo-Lido, Mino-Wrap, and basically the rest I've already explained. So in terms of the management, they have a good extensive team of management that is quite extensive. And the 4 goes Mino-Lok, which is in phase 3 currently. C2002, this is in phase 1, expected to go towards an IND in Q2 2021, with a phase 2B initiated expected in Q3. CTI-101 Mino-Wrap, and that is in Q4 2021, an IND is expected. And CTI-401, that's somewhere between Q1 and Q2 2022. Currently, both of the last 2 are preclinical. And so we can take a quick look into the information here, but a lot of the viewers are more looking towards just general the information rather than an in-depth breakthrough of this general company's pipeline. And so again, this information here is put into a chart form, what I've just explained in the last slide I went on. And this is relating towards the Mino-Lok development plan, which is estimated as of 2021. And you're looking into commercial preparation sometime by the end of the year. Hopefully, if the trial results that are continuing on would actually give you perhaps some information relating towards their efficacy and safety, that would make it continuously superior than the current markets in the market itself. Now, for competitive landscape for this one here, under the market opportunities, for cosmetics, there is no products being developed for treatment of infected central venous lines, and the current products that are existing, such as cosmetics, are only prevention-only, anti-infective. So hopefully this product does fill that gap. Now, we can go on a little bit further with other products, but I'm only going to skip all the way to the bottom to see some of the information relating towards, not Mino-Wrap. Mino-Wrap as well has this similar chart showing you where the NDA approval is estimated all the way to 2024, Q4. So that's still quite a gap to go. And Halo-Lido also has an IND preparation sometime in the next quarter, or this quarter actually, and phase 2b clinical study is going to happen probably sometime in this quarter or the next quarter. And some of the summary here for the corporate, which I wanted to cover for, is that they're addressing attractive, diversified, multi-billion-dollar opportunities adjunctive to cancer care, infectious diseases, and gastrointestinal diseases. Partnership with Novelis partnerships in developing highly promising IMSC products, and partnerships with MD Anderson Cancer Center in developing novel anti-infective in cancer, and portfolio addressing recognized unmet medical needs with cost-saving or cost-effective solutions with low-risk development pathways, with multiple stage near and term milestone anticipated, with highly experienced and successful management team. And so in the general part, they do have good amount of cash, etc. But I do want to talk about the dilution that some of people have been referring to relating towards the SEC filing. But before doing so, please don't forget to drop a like to this video to help this channel grow, subscribe on the bottom right corner, and leave notifications on if you would like to see more contents like this. And if you would like to suggest some tickers for the future picks, etc., totally free Discord in the description below. We're not trying to upsell you into anything. It's just a bunch of wholesome people there that are trying to help one another. One of the latest SEC filings here are nothing relating more towards exercising of warrants, but the one before it really does talk about the Mino-Lok phase 3. The one we've just mentioned and we read on, there might be some just additional information here relating in the appendix. Well, actually not really, but it's the same information in general. Now, another PR that was actually released on the 22nd of June, and this one here says that you're gonna have, I'm just gonna read the sentence. There's actually been approved in terms of the article of incorporation to increase the number of authorized shares of the capital stock from 210,000 to 410,000, and the authorized number of common shares from 200,000 to 400,000, which basically doubles their number of authorized shares. Now, what does this mean? Really, when we're looking into this one, it's just relating towards future offerings and raising capital. Pharmas or research and developments do that continuously to increase their capital, because they can't just go to the bank and say, hey, we're just going to spend this money for research and development. You may and may not have a product at the end, and we might go bankrupt in 10 years. So really what they do is they use the stock market as their own bank in that sense. Now, another news here is Citius Pharmaceuticals to be added to the Russell 2000 index in here, and which remains in place for 1 year and is based on the membership in Board Markets Russell 3000 index. Citius will also be automatically added to the appropriate groups or growth in value indexes. So that is positive news for it to be added onto indexes. Institutional buyers have been adding onto this one. I don't see any more removing from this one except 2 companies in May, or at the second end of May, Ferocious Financial LLC and 2 Sigma Securities. And there is few others if you go back and scroll downwards, but in general, they're more bullish than bearish. For now, let's move on towards technical analysis. Now, for technical analysis on a 1 month, 1 day perspective, things appear to be mixed. We have some bullish things and some bearish things. For instance, the first bullish thing here is that the 10 SMAs above the 30 MA, which are moving days averages, which are really looking bullish at this point. The 50 SMA is above the 200 SMA. Now, as well on the 80X, it shows that this was a very, very strong trend, while 8% R shows it's highly oversold, which means technically at an equilibrium, you would get more buyers coming in, raising the stock price up based on the supply and demand equation. Now, some of the bearish things. The price point is below the 50 SMA. That's not good. And the price point is below the trading action zone where most positive reversals occur. Not good. Now the 80X shows it's kind of coming in from a reversal from 57 all the way down to 45. The 80X, by the way, is called the average directional index as well. And the MACD has gone negative, which is bearish. So you get to see this massive drop. This is relating to news, not towards just technical analysis. Keep in mind that the chart doesn't tell you much things that are more of hidden meaning other than what's actually there. So it's not kind of creating things out of thin air, you're just interpreting the data in a better stance. Now, in terms of momentum, that's negative as well. But on the stochastic fast and stochastic slow, both are telling you this might actually be the bottom at this point. So we need to look at supports and resistances for that. Now, on the Bollinger Bands, which is a momentum volume bands, you expect this one to trade 447 at the top and 199 in the bottom. So currently the stock price is around 215 and it did touch the Bollinger Bands at the bottom. So theoretically you can start expecting bounces to happen at this level. Now, in terms of the chart on the Fibonacci retracements, high frequency traders use this, that's why I'm showing it to you. The current support on the Fibonacci retracements is $1.99, and then below there 138, and then 40 cents. 40 cents going on all the way back. Now, in terms of resistances, 248, 297, 367, and 456. Now you get to see it did touch the 199. And for this, let's start looking into Fibonacci, not Fibonacci, my bad, price line action supports and resistances. So the current very strong support that you're going to start seeing in this level would be just around 204. That's a very, very strong support. Below there, you're looking at 185. Below there, 173. Below there, 150. Each of these are very, very strong supports. Now, below there, you start hitting the next strong support sitting at 134, and then below 134 would be somewhere closer to the 118, and then a very strong 197. If it does break the 97 cents, I don't know what a recovery would look like. Now, in terms of our resistance levels, there is a few resistances. Currently, 220 appears to be a very strong resistance. Above there, you're looking at 243. That will be a hard one to break. Above that, 271. If it starts breaking to 271, the next one it gotta break is around the 321. From there on, 348. From there on, 372. And then finally, 423. So you get to see in terms of resistances, it's almost like a ladder because we don't have so much history above this point in the near history. But if you go all the way back, yes, you did have some. So comes to the question, Ed, what do you think about this one? But before doing so, I do want to show you a quick thing here. So this is relating towards the analyst recommendations for CTXR. And what you're getting to see here is that the price target, the average, is around $4, which is a good amount of pricing, around 86% on the higher level upside. You currently have two different ratings. A buy from HC Wainwright from an analyst named Vernon Bernardino, and his success rate is 42%. He iterated a position of buy. Now, another one here, this is from Donaldson James 4 months ago, a price target of $6 with a success rate of 38%, also reiterated a buy. Now, in terms of news analysis, you're looking into it being more bearish than the sector because of the latest news, of course. But in terms of a smart score, this one puts it at neutral. However, analyst ratings are moderately buy. Bloggers' opinion are actually bullish into this one. Fundamentals appear to be a bit negative because it's research and development pharma. Technical analysis, they seem to be bullish, but tip rank investors appear to be very negative on it in the last 30 days, or 7 days, my bad. So all in all, I do think that they do have a really good pipeline. I had family members that are affected with some of the diseases or the products that they would actually be helping with. So I do hope and wish them the best. Research and development is really tough because sometimes you don't get the results you need. I do think that there will be probably some form of a bounce, probably closer to the 189 and 176 accumulation, and then relating towards other PRs probably in the next month or two, you're going to start to see back recovery, and hopefully it will look better for Mino-Lok. Now, what do you think about the sticker? Make sure to mention down in the comments below. Share, subscribe, and like, and have a wonderful day. Now, if you're still here on this video, make sure to drop down below and join our Discord. We have a lot of different things going on, including, for instance, members that gives picks for free. It's not pump and dumps, we just things we think about, swings, etc. We also have really exciting bots. You can actually use those ones. For instance, we're just testing out this bot, for instance, that gives you Fibonacci resistance points, activities, etc. And we have a bunch of free things, totally free. We run on tips here, and you can ask me questions, suggest stocks, etc. It's a really nice community that has been growing up very fast at a very good rate, and it's totally free. If you would like to join that one, feel free to do so in the description below, and have a wonderful day.